Hello, beloved listeners, and welcome to Snake People at the Movies, film criticism by people who actually like film. Join us as we dive into movies we love, movies we respect, and movies we wish we could unsee. It's the podcast where we talk about growing up and living queer, nerdy, and depressed online and at the cinema. From the kids who are gonna put a spell on you, it's Sneople at the Movies. I'm Ezra.
And I'm Matty. We are down to Sneople this week. Because
life happens. Shit happens.
But we just got her. She's gone.
Yeah, you know, Helena finally achieved every millennial's dream of just, like, fucking off and becoming a bog witch.
And we decided to really respect that career choice, I think. Yeah. You know, it was a bold new direction, but I'm really proud of them. I'm excited to see where that's going to go. I think there's a lot of potential there, and it's going to look great on their resume.
Yeah, so. I'm really hoping to get, like, frog messengers with updates from time to time. Yeah. Frog book messenger. That was a bit of a stretch, huh? I don't know. I mean, I made a noise, really so clearly I thought it was funny.
I think the element of surprise worked in my favor.
That is probably true.
Yeah, so no Helena this week, but you have the two of us. This is another Halloween episode because it's Halloween.
Halloween lasts all month. It's true.
That's right, until your birthday.
Yeah, Halloween actually lasts 5 weeks. It's from October 1st to the 7th of November. Because my birthday is on November 7th, and I've been insisting that I have a Halloween birthday for basically my entire life. So, yeah.
Yep, and that's your privilege, and you're right. So, we will continue to encourage that. So I guess we're going to do 3 Halloween episodes? No, the next episode will be after your birthday. So
yeah.
we'll do your birthday episode.
I have to do, which means I have to pick my birthday episode.
You have to pick what you want to do for your birthday.
Which I feel like at this point at my age and level of indecisiveness, the present should be somebody else picking my birthday episode so I don't have to.
I mean, well, you know, Helen and I will come up with something. We'll figure it out.
Oh yeah, we'll have some more fun and funky shenanigans for all of you.
Yeah.
The phrase audio shenanigans is just, like, kind of cursed, but I also kind of love it. It's a corollary to audio crimes. That's the show.
Yeah. Is auditory shenanigans.
Yep.
Also, my favorite alt-punk band.
Yeah.
So, What We Sneep.
What did we sneep?
I saw GoldenEye for the first time. Love Sean Bean.
I fucking love that movie, dude.
One of his top 3 gayest roles, I would argue.
That movie is... It's pretty homoerotic, and I love it.
It was some crazy shit.
Yeah.
I had been warned beforehand and was not really prepared for everything that happened to me. Pierce Brosnan is a good 007. My main association with him is unfortunately him in Mamma Mia, where he can't carry a tune. God bless him, but he's a good 007. So
I like him as Bond a lot.
I do too. I think he's got kind of the wit and the charisma to pull it off and make me be like, yeah, okay, I'm in it. I am compelled by what you're doing here.
Yeah, this is a little bit of the like. Don't get me wrong. I quite like some of the Craig films, but going back and watching the Pierce Brosnan ones and earlier, like, oh yeah, James Bond was originally, like, fun.
Yeah, he was, like, originally was very, like, snappy.
Yeah, there's, like, a
which
playfulness to some of it.
Yeah, which is not what Daniel Craig has done. And that's fine. I adore him.
I like him a lot. Daniel Craig
his
truly
Bond
is
movies.
A gritty reboot for Bond, which, like...
Totally.
You know,
well... And some of them are quite fun. Not all of them hit the mark.
Look, as someone who's voluntarily watched Quantum of Solace multiple times in their life,
yikes.
Fucking knows why.
But like his version of Casino Royale and Skyfall are like my 2 favorite Bond movies. So not that I have a wide list to pull from, but I also think they're just like good movies, even if they're both very long. Anyway, so I watched GoldenEye, and then I played some GoldenEye, which was fun.
Sick.
On the Wii, which was confusing.
Oh, boy.
I watched The Final Girls, which I think is a 2010 movie about a gal whose single mom was an actor who was in a slasher movie in like the 80s or whatever. It's a cult classic, and the mom dies in a car crash. And then a few years later, she and her ragtag group of friends get teleported into the movie itself, where her mom is young and alive. And like one really fun like slasher flick is what I just tried to say. Good movie, like interesting cinematography, like very fun ride. And also for me, who has like a single mom actor parent who was in a cult classic many years ago. Like, it's like, oh my god, see, it was really, really emotional.
Funny.
I was full on sobbing at certain points, just like, because there's a part at the beginning, I didn't cry at this part, but there's a part at the beginning where it's her and the love interest, and they're talking outside the movie theater. She didn't want to go see these movies, but she got roped into it. And she was like, this is the anniversary of her death, at least I'll get to see her.
Oh,
and that just like fucking killed me. Yeah. Which it was one of those things where watching it, I was like, I think I'm having a different experience with this movie than maybe other people might have with this movie. But it was that relationship spoke very true to the relationship I have with my mom, which was unexpected.
Oh,
but very good. Very, very worth watching, I think. And then I watched Skyfall and Spectre back to back. I wanted to watch Skyfall real bad. And I finished that and was like, what if I just finally watched Spectre? And I did, and I was like, this movie's not very good, is it? I know everyone's told me it's not very good, but it's not a very good movie, is it?
No, it's not.
The plot, so here's what I'll say for it. Locations, great. They're always good.
Yeah.
Costumes, fun. Like, action sequences, kicked ass. Fun to watch. The plot was just so bad. It was like distractingly bad. I was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen to see with my eyes. This is so bad. The main love interest, you were talking with Ben, I think, and I thought you were talking with Elda.
But that was really funny. No, that was definitely Ben and I just like completely derailing a parascience recording.
Right, but the thing is like there was a movie conversation that happened during a recording I was sitting in, and I assumed that it was you and Helena because that's generally how it works. But it wasn't. But the love interest is like definitely too young for him, and the whole time I got these vibes of like this does not feel like a genuine romantic relationship. This just feels weird. And she was very like flat. God bless her. I know she was doing her best, and acting isn't easy, but I was also like, I do not find you compelling at all. I don't understand your character motivations because you keep going back and forth, and I think partially that's the writing and partially it's you.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Dave Bautista was there.
Dave Bautista was there.
That's my
Dave
man.
Bautista was in the part of that movie where Kevin and Mai's like streaming thing crapped out last time we watched it, and we just didn't try to. We just were like the next day we're like, do you want to try to finish Spectre? And both of us were like, nah, I don't really care. Did
you get to the fight with the two of them on the train?
No.
Okay.
Is that the one where I've seen it before? Because it's the one where like the train starts coming apart and there's like a little miniature excavator on it. And somebody
are you thinking of that scene from Skyfall?
Did I just fuck that? Wait, hang on. I thought there was a different train chase in Spectre.
There is a different train. There is a train chase in Spectre that I think takes place in the snow. I forget where they're going, but
I was mixing it up with the one in Skyfall.
It's not the train fight at the beginning of Skyfall, which whips. It's a different fight with Dave Bautista.
Okay.
And that man does not speak in his role for the entire movie. And at one point, there's a Looney Tunes-ass moment where Bond like gets a rope around him and ties him to some like barrels or whatever. Not barrels, they're like gas tanks that are going out of the train. And Dave Bautista's character realizes a split second too late that he's about to be flung bodily outside of a rushing train. And he just looks up and says shit, and then just gets flung out. And it was fucking incredible.
Okay.
It was so funny.
So it's so nice to know that occasionally the Bond movies retain their reputation for comedic timing. I'm just saying, fucking Spectre would have been way better if the the primary love interest was Monica Bellucci.
Yeah, agreed. I was like, I also know what you're saying here when you say this.
Whips really hard.
Yeah, that was fun.
And the rest of it is not very good.
No.
Anyway, also pour one out for Andrew Scott being required to just do Moriarty, but worse.
He didn't seem like he was having a lot of fun. He seemed
like
like he was really phoning it in.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, everybody gets shafted in that movie. Like, Ralph Fiennes' role sucks. Like, he's really good in Skyfall, and his role sucks in that movie.
Yeah. Christoph Waltz seems like he's having a great time, though.
I
am playing the stupidest shit ever.
Love that for him.
And also, I'm playing, like, a classic Bond villain. I'm just gonna have and also my reason for knowing Bond is, like, the most contrived thing.
Oh, God, it's so
I'm just gonna have fun with it.
I had completely forgotten it, and Ben explaining this to me. I hope that got cut and, like, saved for posterity from that recording, because
I hope so too.
It is so. I am just so like dumb. Unwilling to believe that he's not bullshitting me.
No, it's like, it's really funny because there's like, it's a torture scene, right? And he's sitting at this fucking little computer, and What's Her Bucket is sitting in a chair. Or whatever, you know, torture scenes anyway. And he's like, yeah, you know how we met each other? Is like, my dad, like, kind of took care of him. And he specifically says 2 winters, which is unclear if he means 2 years or if Bond spent 2 specific winters with them.
I don't know.
It's not clear. And Christoph Waltz is like, and anyway, that's why I had to kill my dad about it. And that's our relationship. And it's like, that's basically all they say. And it's like, you didn't even need to go there. Like, you could have just, there's like, they barely touch on it. It's incredible. But he's, I think, one of my favorite parts of that movie, because he is clearly just like, just going for it. I was like, you know what, I'll buy this really stupid connection because you're having fun. And I'll do that for you, Chris. Anyway, Spectre's not good.
Yeah.
I think if they had just, like, decided to either go, like, way more batshit with the plot, or not try and, like, feel, like, they clearly were like, look at how smart we are tying all these threads together, but the problem is these separate threads were never meant to be tied together, so it just all falls apart.
Like, this is the same guy who fucking went to space in Moonraker. Like, you can just be more batshit.
You could, yeah, like, if y'all should have just done real stupid, instead of doing stupid and trying to be like, aren't we so clever? Oh ho ho, we finally got the rights to this one specific Bond thing. And I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Like, this one specific
They should have basically
thing,
just recreated the Genghis Khan music video.
Yeah, did you mean my actual favorite Bond movie?
Yeah. Like,
hands down,
hello.
The best James Bond film is, in fact, the Genghis Khan music
by
video.
Mike Snow. Yeah. Anyway, so I watched that. I do think I'm gonna try and see No Time to Die.
Oh, me too.
I'm like, man, when we were watching GoldenEye, Ben was getting texts from another friend of ours who was alone in the theater watching No Time to Die.
Oh,
and
shit.
he's like really going through it. And so I've been spoiled for a bunch of stuff. And I was like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about spoilers for this movie. You can just tell me, that's fine. So I'm like excited to see it. I'm excited to just be free of this nightmare. Skyfall's really good though. It's still a good movie.
It is still a good movie.
And then to completely change gears, I watched the original Wicker Man.
Yeah, because it was a sexy Christopher Lee week on Sneople.
Yeah, it was really. I've never seen the remake with Nick Cage, the infamous remake with Nick Cage, but the Wicker Man. I don't know why I said it like that. The Wicker Man, the original one, I think is on IMDb TV or something.
Oh,
so I was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? I got time. And I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
I can see how people were like, this really set the stage for a lot of horror to come. Now, admittedly, I grew up with a bunch of New Age stuff, so it took quite a while for me to be like, yeah, this shit's really fucked up, huh? Because I was like, I don't know, man, people just practice different religions. Like, this is not what we did, but this is not
like outside the realm
this
of
is not totally outside the realm of things that we were involved in. I mean, there weren't people dancing around naked, but like, you know, but and then things started getting really weird really fast, and I was like, oh, now we're in it. Now we're really in it to win it.
That's really fucking funny.
Yeah. I didn't realize that it took place in Scotland, which adds this whole other like little twist to the fight of the movie.
I feel like I should have
everyone's
known
walking
that,
around doing weird cult shit in Scotland. Sorry, what was that?
No, I was just, for some reason I never clocked that it was set in Scotland. I just didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they must say it early on, or maybe I just clocked his accent. Maybe, I don't know.
That's totally possible.
But I also feel like there was
have
something
not
that
actually
indicated.
seen all of the original Wicker Man yet. Someday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's definitely worth it. I was expecting the bee thing to show up, and it never did. Apparently, that was cut from the original film, and I was like,
no.
Well, rip. That's fine though. Like, the movie was very good on its own without the bee stuff. So.
Pour one out for the bees.
Yeah. A lot of that also hinged I'm sorry, this is my last thought, I'm just thinking. I think a lot of the fear of that movie hinged very much on, like, the Christian fear of the pagan, because that's what the protagonist is going through.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be Christian to, like, experience that fear, but I think if you were very Christian, you would have a very different experience with that movie. Which is not one that I had. It was still good and impactful, but also I think if I was, like, more religious, the build of horror would have been more gradual rather than me being like, yeah, you know, they're fucking in a field or whatever.
So being like, that's not.
And then suddenly like, all right, and we're sacrificing people.
Fuck.
Yeah, I knew I could see, like, this is supposed to be scary, and I get the vibes, but I was not scared by most of it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, God, I keep forgetting I had more stuff I watched. I just had a lot of thoughts about everything I watched this week.
Evidently.
And then the last thing I watched was it's a YouTube series that's called Pets Cop. And it is supposed to be in the style of a Let's Play, and the idea is it was written by, I forget the name of the guy, but it took place from 2017 to 2019, and it's this guy named Paul is the in-universe character who found this PS1 game that was given to him by his mom, and is recording himself playing it for a friend of his, and just puts it up on YouTube. And obviously things start to get weirder and weirder as the videos go on. Then there's 24 of them, and then the last video is like the soundtrack with a little bit of like an epilogue at the very end. And it was like, I guess it's like 5 hours long or something. I watched it over a couple of days, and it's like very good and like very tense and very scary, even though there's no jump scares or anything. And I like watched all of it and then was like, great, that was so good. I need to not think about that for a couple of weeks, and I'll come back to it later. It really, I think,
in that.
Yeah, it rewards a rewatch. So I think maybe like in a couple months or something, I'll watch it again now with like the knowledge I have of the stuff that happens. But yeah, Jesus Christ,
really
yeah, it was very good. I found it through. I heard about it when it was coming out, but I found it through a Polygon article because they're doing like Halloween movies for October.
Oh, nice.
And someone was like, yeah, this is like a weird, like, people really weren't sure what was going on with this until it was over. And the creator was like, yeah, so I basically wrote and like made this whole thing. Anyway, I said so much.
That's fine. Once again, Maddie, I like listening to you talk about movies.
I know. Thank you. Yes, I'm not sorry for talking so much. I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Hell yeah. So, speaking of Hot Christopher Lee Week, I rented The Man with the Golden Gun.
Which I also want to see.
I will watch it with you. Hilariously,
yes.
I was trying to get it from Film is Truth, the local video rental, and what the gal, I in her defense, we were chatting. The person who grabbed the DVD from the back for me accidentally handed me The Man with the Golden Arm, which is an addiction drama from 1955 starring Frank Sinatra, which I haven't watched yet.
but not quite what you were looking for. Also,
I ended up renting The Man with the Golden Gun from YouTube, which I will say is like, it's fun. There is a fucking interminable car chase in the middle of it, which you should just zone out for. Because the whole thing is that in the previous film, they were in the US, and that's the, like, one of the just absolutely balls to the wall racist ones. I mean, most of them are extremely racist, but this one is, like, really racist. That's set in, like, the American South, and involves, it's bad. But so they had this character who was fucking Sheriff J.W. Pepper, Louisiana State Police, or whatever. Yeah, he's this white guy who's, and for some reason is in a car dealership in Thailand when James Bond needs a getaway car, and ends up just in the car for this car chase, just sort of shouting racial abuse at the locals for no particular reason.
All right. Cool.
As they chase Christopher Lee, whose car turns into a plane. It's tight as hell.
Oh, fuck
because
yeah,
he is, in this movie, the coolest man alive. Like,
yeah. Okay. I've been told that he has a third nipple in this movie. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's like a whole ass plot point, dude.
Okay, great. I was like, I think you guys are telling me the truth, but this sounds weird enough that maybe you're making it up.
He plays a very mysterious, internationally renowned hitman. And the whole thing is that nobody ever sees, he works through intermediaries, nobody knows what he looks like. But everybody knows that he, will prove his identity because he has a third nipple. This shit involves James Bond pretending to be Scaramanga by getting a prosthetic third nipple. These movies used to be so much more fun because they were so dumb. And the only problem with The Man with the Golden Gun is that Christopher Lee is so good in it that it just makes Roger Moore look so, bland by comparison. He has,
Christopher Lee is, putting his fucking whole heart into this movie.
Christopher Lee, invented charisma in this movie. Yeah. Which, just, generally, but, anyway.
That's him in every single role I've ever seen him in.
It's very fun. I'd say it's worth watching. There's a great deal of a white dude shouting racial abuse at Thai people going about their business.
Cool.
Anyway, watch it and then go listen to the Kill James Bond podcast episode on I need to, because it's really fucking fun. They are also extremely funny.
Yeah, I was gonna say I need to listen to that at all. I was thinking about it a lot when I was watching all these Bond movies recently.
They just did GoldenEye, so
yes! Perfect.
Yeah. I also got Jupiter Ascending.
Yay!
And my roommates and I watched that again while we were a little bit drunk.
The perfect way to watch Jupiter Ascending, I would argue.
It's really the only way to watch that movie, kind of.
Just a little drunk.
Just a little bit drunk. Which is just, again, does that movie make any sense? Absolutely not.
No.
Is the script, is the dialogue good? No. Does it rule? Yes!
Yeah.
It looks great. All of the effects are fantastic. It's, it's imaginative. It's, joyful in its commitment to just, total sci-fi technobabble horse shit. Mila Kunis is terminally awkward in that movie, but you love it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Bean is a triple agent who's also, a man who is a bee. Don't ask us about it.
Sean B.
What it's
talk about another role where people who are in it are really just putting their whole heart into the affair. Everyone in that movie is
Sean Bean
full on committed.
Yeah, they are. That's the thing, is everybody is just giving it everything they've got. It's just that people what they've got to offer wildly varies between cast members.
Eddie Redmayne is doing whatever the fuck that voice is.
Yeah, Eddie Redmayne's blowjob voice.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Eddie Redmayne is just swanning around, sounding as if he has just given an extremely thorough blowjob.
And smoked 3 cigarettes afterwards.
Yeah, and then also smoked 3 post-coital cigarettes in quick succession.
Yeah.
Which, like,
at the same time.
Eddie Redmayne in an open silk dressing gown with like 3 cigarettes in his mouth at once. Yeah, that's what happened right before every single take of that movie.
Yeah. I love dogs. I've always loved dogs.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, it was really, really fun watching it with my roommate who is a lesbian and is just like, I don't, why do people like Channing Tatum? And Kevin and I, who are attracted to men but not particularly attracted to Channing Tatum, trying to explain to
as someone who is attracted to Channing Tatum, let me put in the defense here. I find him charming.
That's
I don't know
fair.
if it's necessarily his like physical form that I'm interested in, but the man has an aura of someone who's very friendly. I think and would listen to you.
He seems nice, but I'm not like I would like have a beer with him, but I wouldn't go home with him.
That's totally, and I think that's completely reasonable. I think that's an appropriate reaction to have to Channing Tatum. Is like, yeah, I'll like hang out with you.
Yeah,
like we could be friends and stuff. I think he'd be not to make up lies about a celebrity I don't know. I think he'd be cool to hang with. We can only hope.
It's a pretty innocuous lie to make up about someone.
Yeah. He's welcome.
And the other extremely important thing that I watched is the 1990 It miniseries.
Yeah, you did.
Which I loved.
Yay, good.
It was fucking delightful, and also I'm like, well, I was already never gonna watch the new movies because they just are over my body horror threshold.
Yeah.
But also, I would just be sitting there because this is now this is now the definitive version of It. And so I'm going to watch this and be like, yeah, but that's wrong, though. Like, that's not how those characters are.
Yeah, but where's Tim Curry?
Where's Tim Curry, who I simply cannot be afraid of? I just can't. Like, he's not scary in that.
No, he's just my friend Tim.
He's, like, unsettling, and I very thoroughly believe the character's reactions to Pennywise, but he is not frightening. He's just Tim Curry in clown makeup.
Yeah.
And sometimes he, like, opens his mouth and has, like, pointy teeth. But, like, they're not scary, pointy. He just sort of looks like the mouth of Sauron.
Okay, that's fair, yeah.
Which is, like, creepy but not scary. Anyway,
yeah, but not scary.
I really enjoyed it and would genuinely... I guess they just put it up on Hulu, so I'm actually thinking about watching it again, because it was really fun.
Sick.
And it made me want to just, like, say fuck my responsibilities, get in the car and drive to Portland, because I miss my friends.
Yeah. Yeah, we could be the kids on bikes, except I can't ride a bike.
I can't ride a bike either. It's fine.
Some of our friends would be on bikes.
We'll just learn to ride bikes so we can be the kids on bikes.
Yeah. I know how to ride a bike. I just don't like riding them on streets because it's scary.
I never learned because I had shitty balance as a child, and then the last 2 times as an adult, someone's tried to teach me to ride a bike. Their bike promptly got stolen. So,
oh my god!
There's something about my ass that puts a curse on. Like, don't let me ride your bike, I guess, because my ass curses your bike.
Oh, fuck! Oh my god! Oh my god!
It's one of those,
that's
like,
incredible.
If I had a nickel for every time I was learning to ride a bike and then that person's bike got stolen, like, I'd only have 2 nickels, but it's weird that it happened twice.
Oh my god, and you don't want to find out if it's a coincidence or a pattern.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god. That's so funny.
And then the thing that I didn't watch is last night was the premiere of the first episode of Campaign 3 of Critical Role. And I didn't end up watching it for a number of mostly scheduling reasons, because I needed to, like, go obtain dinner instead of, like, staying up till 11:30 without eating. Um, but also, something that I just wanted to chat about real fast, because in fact we have we don't just talk about movies, we talk about the experience of being in fandom and having a lot of your social life be conducted on the internet. And I just wanted to talk about this weird thing that's been happening to me, which is like, for some reason my subconscious has like rounded up all of the like ambient anxiety from like, you know, just gestures to everything happening in the world right now. And, you know, like stress about my new job and stuff. And dumped it all onto my like responses to Critical Role, which is something that I used to just like love unconditionally. Which fucking sucks, frankly. But I realized that what I was feeling was I was suddenly anxious about having the wrong reaction to it, because I don't usually watch like serialized media as it comes out. I'm always the person who like waits until a TV show has finished airing to watch it, because I don't like watching things weekly or whatever. Or like the things that I do watch weekly are stuff that just like genuinely like most of my friends don't watch, or like not that many people care about. Like, why is nobody watching Star Trek Discovery with me, etc., etc. But I have a lot of friends who are really, really, really into Critical Role, but they're also more like, they're much more likely to like watch it and like critique it or like be unhappy with the way things are going, whereas like my whole response to it has just been like, I don't know, I just don't think that hard about it, I guess. Or like, I don't...
Yeah, I'm just here to have fun.
I'm just here to have fun, but I just am fundamentally not interested in judging the show or judging the people, like judging the cast for the way that they decide to play their characters. I just don't care. But I have a lot of friends who I like really have known for a long time and have always really admired their like sense of taste and like incisive analysis of media and all of this stuff. And when I like something in kind of like an uncomplicated, like, yeah, I'm not really thinking that hard about it, I just like it, and a bunch of my friends are like, oh, like I thought it was boring, or this choice was like this was a cop out, or this was like something, and I'm just like, oh shit, you know. And it's like I remember having that kind of feeling about like, you know, a long time ago, before I decided that it didn't matter if I liked things that were critically acclaimed or not, because the point of entertainment is it's like, look, if I'm not having fun, I'm not having fun, and like, you know, Guillermo del Toro said I don't have to do pop culture homework. So I got over it from like sort of like quote unquote like out group sources, but it's weird having to like get over it all over again from like my friends. And I'm sort of trying to figure, it's like I don't want to mute people because I like talking to them and I really like talking about them with other stuff, but it's just driving, like I'm just driving myself insane about this, and it sucks because I'm like, I just want to have fun, but like I haven't watched Critical Role since fucking March 2020, when watching it just made me miss my friends because I was home alone for 6 weeks during lockdown. And I went a little bananas. So like, I don't know, I just was kind of gonna, because I feel like, you know, we've both had experiences where like we liked something that a lot of the people around us were really down on.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in the past I've been able to get over it, and for some reason I'm having a hard time getting over it with Grit Roll.
You know, this is an interesting... I had this kind of experience with the Star Wars sequels. Now looking back, I'm like, those weren't so good. But right after I watched them, I was fresh off the high of a new Star Wars. Yeah. And I was going into those, for the most part, being like, man, I'm just here to watch a Star War. Like, I'm not really gonna think about it too hard, which, I still agree with as a concept of, like, man, I don't know, it's a Star War. Now I'm also like, I wish it wasn't, though. But that is beside the point. Where after every new Star Wars, I would get this, like, rush of, like, both anger and anxiety about, like, okay, I gotta make sure I, like, block every tag I can, because I don't want to see discourse about Star Wars. Because I'm sick of, even if there are opinions I agree with, I'm sick of everyone and their mom just dunking on this thing that I'm like, I don't know, man, I was just trying to enjoy it and, like, have fun. I just wanted to kind of, like, experience that without feeling like I was, like, bad or wrong or something, which is, like, you know, sometimes you have to just be like, no, that's not what, no one's trying to, like, personally hurt you for liking Star Wars or something. This is just how they interact with media, which there's a whole other conversation to be said about, like, going into everything with an analytical or discourse mind and, like, you know, not blah, 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 whatever. But that is that sounds very familiar to me. I have experienced this with a few things over the years. Because there's a few things that are near and dear to my heart that, like, are very popular, and therefore there's a lot of kind of, like, contention about them. And it's one of those things where I just had to kind of eventually decide, like, all right, I'm just gonna block every tag I can. But for the most part, it wasn't, like, my friends that I was having to deal with this from, because any of my, like, friends who were talking about this, I could just be like, hey, love you, I don't want to talk about Star Wars right now. And they'd be like, yeah, no problem, man. We won't talk about Star Wars. And it wasn't like a personal thing. And I think something about Crit Role specifically that is so weird to me is, I guess not weird, because that puts a judgment on, like, how people are talking about it. You and I are avid tabletop players and have been for a while since the Crit Role, like, before the Crit Role boom.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say. And I think I view Crit Role in such a very specific light, which is maybe not necessarily even a fair light to view it in anymore, considering they are now essentially a minor production company.
Yeah.
But I view it as a tabletop game. I'm not viewing it as a scripted television show, because that's not really what it is. It is scripted on some level in terms of, like, Matt has a plot, but it is also an improv show. And therefore, a lot of things that are happening are, on some level, kind of out of the control of the people playing. And even if the stuff that's in control, character choices, who they're playing, how they evolve those characters, whatever, those are more personal than an actor playing a character on a television show, because the way that you deal with a tabletop character that you made is just inherently more personal of an experience.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like the, like, why didn't they do this, or why didn't they act like this, is, like, that's a fair criticism to make, especially if this was, like, a scripted TV show. These are people making very specific decisions about how are we telling the story, and they still are, but it's a little different because they're making, like, personal choices about a personal character of theirs and what feels true to them, rather than trying to necessarily make a point all the time. Sometimes they are, I guess. You know, you can tell I'm adding a lot of caveats because, like, this is not a black and white area.
No, it is not clear cut at all.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think that we have to. There's been a lot of discourse about Critical Role in general recently because of them becoming essentially a production company. You know, that transitioned from a fairly small team of people who were hooked onto another company and were all friends to a production company is a difficult transition.
Yeah.
For all kinds of reasons. I think people are holding them to higher standards in different ways. But I am just kind of approaching anything Crit Role with the, like, I don't know, man, I just feel like it doesn't have to be that deep. Now, if someone really fucks up, then I'm gonna be like, yeah, no, you fucked up. But so far, there hasn't been anything where I'm like, man, you really fucked up.
My thing is, okay,
most of it's just like, it's not that deep. I don't know.
I'm gonna get specific here. I am starting to feel like I am supposed to, like, I am cringe for not thinking Liam O'Brien is cringe. And I'm like, I just don't expect anything from him, and unfortunately, Fortunately, it's not even unfortunate. I like Liam. I've liked all of Liam's crit role characters.
Yeah.
A bunch of my friends were like, man, I thought his character in fucking Exandria Unlimited sucks, and it sucked, and it sucks that he's coming back, and I'm like, well, I haven't watched Exandria Unlimited yet, but, like, I don't know.
Then don't watch it, dog. I don't know.
I think it's...
I think there's this such a, like... As I mentioned, like, these, when you play a tabletop character, they're personal to you, and it's personal to, like, what you like, what you want to play, what kind of stories you want to tell, and that is not necessarily going to be for everyone.
Yeah, and like,
that's okay.
Your
like,
comfort zone for stuff in a tabletop game versus, like, what you are going to play when you're, like, playing a character that somebody else scripted, frankly, might be different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because you can create a distance when it's something that someone else has written.
Yeah.
When you are essentially writing all of this character's dialogue and most of their character arc and their backstory, you are the sole writer for this character, and also you are physically and, like, vocally playing them.
Yeah, it's a different thing.
Like, that's pretty deep in the weeds there, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel, like, very closely connected to my tabletop characters. They're very, very personal to me. For the most part.
Most of mine are very, like, I would be, I don't know.
If, as someone who, you and I both play tabletop for podcasts, actually.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
Listen to Parasites and Legends of Leia. But specifically with, like, Legends of Leia, which is a 5e tabletop show, like, in the same kind of realm as Critical Role in terms of, like, what, not to say that those two are comparable.
No, but it is at base the same format.
Exactly. If someone was like, I hate Petros and I think he sucks, I think he's a stupid character, that would really hurt my feelings, actually. That would really, like, because I put a lot of thought into it. Also, if someone genuinely, because my friends goof about this, right? Our friends goof about, like, oh, Petros is a cop. But if someone genuinely was like, I don't like Petros, he's a cop, that would be very hurtful to me. Because I put a lot of thought into that character and wanting to play it a specific way and try something new. And so, like, you know, and obviously when you are kind of in this media spotlight, you have to figure out how you kind of emotionally deal with stuff. But, like, when you build a tabletop character, you, like, put a lot of thought into, like, what do I want to try out? What do I want to play? Even if that's mechanical or story-wise, you know, this is my persona or whatever for this season. And I feel like there's a callousness to the way people talk about it that, like, feels kind of unnecessary. It's like, but because people view Critical Role as a different piece of media than it is sometimes, which is a disconnect that feels weird to me. But also, like, once again, I'm viewing this all from the perspective of somebody who plays a lot of tabletop and plays a lot of tabletop for other people's consumption.
Yeah, that is true. That all of the people who I am having these feelings about do play a shitload of tabletop, but none of them play tabletop, like, for podcasts or anything like that.
Yeah. And I think that puts us in a unique position of viewing it from their perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had this, like, wash of anxiety thinking about, like, oh my god, if people were, like, talking about Leia, like, that they talk about crit roll sometimes, like, man, it would just fucking kill me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. No, okay, I feel better now. I just, like, it's been just such a weird thing where, like, so specifically, like, I've been feeling like I have to, like, not be honest about my opinions.
Yeah.
About this thing that I'm like, yeah, I like it. It's just once again for the cheap seats. It's just not that fucking deep.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have to be I don't need to write, like, a whole, like, doctorate paper. That's not what those are called. Thesis. Anyway.
Thesis is the word that you're looking for.
I don't need thank you. I don't need to write a whole thesis to get my master's in Critical Role, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you could just watch stuff and, like, and if that's the level of analysis you do want to be in, that's cool. But when communities come, like, that is how all of us interact. I totally get the, like, okay, well, I don't really want to talk then, because I feel like y'all are gonna be looking at me like, okay, idiot. Look at this idiot. Doesn't want to criticize Critical Role.
Yeah, and it's
Look at this idiot who's not taking this seriously. And it's like, I don't know, maybe my taking it seriously is different from your taking it seriously. That's okay.
Also, like, taking this
neither of us are wrong.
Sounds really boring.
Yeah, I don't know. Also, I'm just like, I just feel like it's not that deep. Sometimes I just want to fuck around, watch some people play Little Wizards or whatever.
So, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, the end of the story is sometimes specific fandoms are very weird about how the group decides they want to consume the media, and it feels weird to not be like that, and I totally understand.
I feel like, yeah, it's like I've just for so long, I've, like, most of my shit has successfully been just, like, you know, like, yeah, I only want to talk to these specific people about the thing, and now it's like, oh god, I can't.
I don't even want to talk to y'all about it.
Now I don't want to talk to y'all about it, but I also, it's like, because I feel like I'm like, my reactions to the thing are like too lowbrow somehow. Which, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm just gonna get up tomorrow, I'm gonna go get a bagel, and I'm gonna fucking watch new Crit Role and continue to not think too hard about it, and if anybody might just have to mute some people that I usually like talking to.
That's okay. Yeah. I wish Twitter had a better, more effective tagging system so that you could, like, follow those tweets but, like, not see the specific Critical Role ones.
That would be really nice.
This is, like, one of the reasons that Tumblr rips is, like, there's specific people, it's like, I want to follow you, I just don't want to see anything you post about, like, blank.
Yeah.
Even though sometimes some people don't use tags, and it pisses her. There's, like, a particular blog I've been mutuals with, like, forever, and they're blogging a lot about one thing I just don't give a shit about, and it's, like, a fourth of their blog, but I care about the other 3/4, but I don't want that 1/4, and I can't do anything about it.
That is rough, dude. I'm sorry.
But for the most part, Tumblr is so much better about that kind of thing, because it's so much easier to just be like, yeah, I don't want to see your personal posts, or I don't want to see your opinions about Star Trek. Goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes you just don't want to see somebody's personal posts or opinions about Star Trek.
I don't want to see your live blogs of this thing that I'm still playing, because I'm going to get spoiled.
Yeah. Alright, well, I don't have a good segue. Usually I'm really good at the segues.
Right. Speaking of magic and wizards.
Yeah, exactly. Listeners, I ain't got shit this week. I just that was a little bit more in depth than I usually get on this show about how I'm personally feeling about shit. Yeah.
We're doing witches.
We're doing witches. I was gonna just, you know, mentally insert a clip of Season of the Witch, because we can't do that. We'll get DMCA'd.
Yeah. Someone did a really good video, I think, on, like, Tumblr or something. That was a bunch of, like, horror movies set to that song.
Sick. That song is so just good. Super good.
Yeah, it's real good.
Be the season of the witch.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, you could also mentally imagine Witch by Florence and the Machine. That would also be acceptable.
Also a banger. My opening gambit here was just, I feel like witches in movies divide into hot or not, but who you put in the hot category says a lot about you. And then Maddie was like, every witch can be hot if you aren't a coward.
Which says a lot about me. So.
It does. It does say a lot about you. I'm right and you're right.
Yeah.
And welcome to the Maddie and Helena. We're going to do slashers. Helena couldn't make it. I don't watch slashers.
So we're talking about witches.
And it's time for, but I do like movies about witches.
Yeah.
I was reading all of this and I'm just thinking about how, like, my, like, personal relationship to, like, the witch as, like, a storytelling figure over the years and how it has changed as my understanding of my gender has altered. Because I used to be so into this kind of shit, and now, like, I still like it, But sometimes I feel like I'm liking it from the outside now because so many of the, like, gendered elements just don't... They're like clothes that don't fit anymore.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't help that a lot of, like... Oh, man, we're really getting into it now.
Yeah, we are.
Like, quote-unquote, like, new age, like... And by new age, I mean, like, modern age, like, 21st century shit.
Yeah.
The way that, like, witches have become popular in online circles is, like, very, like, capital F feminism.
Yeah, and some of it...
Which I say in a kind of a mean way, not to be, like, I hate women, but in terms of, like, there's kinds of feminism I don't connect with.
Yeah, some of it's a little bioessentialist, frankly.
Yeah. There's this really great Tumblr blog I follow. It's Normal Horoscopes. That's, they're an occultist.
Oh, sick.
And, like, basically, like, a professional occultist, which I think is, like, man, you're the coolest person on the planet.
That's like the modern version of court wizard, and I love that.
Yeah, that's basically what they are! Like, you're but the court is Tumblr! So, of course, it's
the
fucking
court
crazy.
Wizard of Tumblr, God, that's, like, both amazing and also the most cursed thing I can think of.
It's like a nightmare, right? But they do it.
They do that for us.
And they do some really interesting research into, like, different kinds of occultism, and rightfully so. Most of these are either, like, racist or, like, bioessentialist or both. It's like, yeah, not all types of. Let me clarify, but, like, very specific. When you think of, like, new age magic shit, a lot of it falls into one or both of those categories.
Yeah.
And a lot of the, like, when you look at, I used to do, this is another jump kind of, that I mentioned earlier, that I grew up with a lot of, like, what you would think of new age stuff. Both my parents read tarot. I think my dad still might. I don't think my mom does anymore. I grew up learning about a lot of different religions, and, like, different, like, I didn't, like, methods of healing, quote unquote, but that doesn't necessarily, like, my parents aren't anti-vaxxers, they just were like, you don't always need to take a bunch of drugs, that kind of thing. So I like, as I got a little older, I then also started to delve into Wicca on my own, and then quickly realized it wasn't for me. And a lot of that is because it is very, like, the divine woman and man, that kind of shit. And some people have then taken it further to be like, and both, or neither, or whatever, or a mix of, yes, that it's two energies, and it's not necessarily tied to gender necessarily, it's just two different kinds of energies. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it is based on the, like, and it's the divine womanhood and the divine masculinity, and the divine masculinity is like this, and the divine womanhood is like this. And it's like,
nah, dog.
Cool. Anyway, not for me. But I think there is something, and, like, also, like, the, like, the way certain, like, young groups of women took witch as, like, they just got, like, weird about it, you know? I'm trying to very delicately touch this topic without getting too deep into it.
Look, I'm just saying this is the category, this is the broad category of people who, produced the fucking stolen bones, Tumblr thing.
Yeah, the bone stealer.
I don't think it's out of line to be like, there was something, at least for some people, there was something hinky going on here.
Or, like, the people who were trying to hex the moon.
You did see my joke at the end of this episode,
I
right?
did.
Good.
But I was, or, like, the people on Reddit who were, like the Reddit witches who are trying to put hexes on, like, political figures or whatever, which, like, props to them, but some of them are, like, just, like, racist about it, and it's like, why are you acting like this?
Yeah.
Stop acting like this.
Yeah.
Which has also made me feel very, like, feel distanced from that kind of thing. And we don't need to get too deep into, like, spirituality or whatever at this point, but you and I both grew up in an era of, like, man, The 90s loved witches.
The 90s loved witches. And
90s
honestly,
and early 2000s.
I love that for them.
Yeah, I wrote a list here, and I wrote like a few, and then I was like, whatever. And then I would come back, and I'd read a couple more, and then I just wrote this like whole list that was just like off the dome of like Charmed, Practical Magic, Hocus Pocus, Scooby-Doo the Witch's Ghost, Halloween Town, Matilda, Kiki's Delivery Service came to the US in 97, even though it came out in 89, The Witches. I wrote Bewitched, which was 2005, but emotionally it's kind of part of that group.
It is spiritually part of the... Yeah, no.
And it's based on a sitcom from, like, the 70s, but, like, once again, you know, Sabrina.
All the shit in fucking Buffy the Vampire Slayer has a bunch of Buffy stuff.
Yeah. There was just, like, so much of it, which was, like, I think very influential on a lot of people who grew up as girls.
Yeah.
And people who would later become girls or were whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, people who've got girl as part of their like life journey.
Yes, exactly.
in the widest possible sense I can put it.
Yeah.
People who have done the girl thing.
Yeah. Very influential. Like very much a lot of stories of like women having and claiming power through magic.
Yeah. I mean, fucking Harry Potter. Like,
Harry Potter. I was thinking, like, are we going to talk about Harry Potter?
No, we're not talking about Harry Potter because Harry Potter fucking sucks, but, you know,
right.
Like...
But it is a dishonorable mention in this list because it was also very influential.
Yes.
And now burned in the fires of hell.
Yeah.
It's and you made an interesting point about, like, the 80s girl power fantasy and how that kind of evolved, possibly.
Yeah, I don't have, like, there's something in there that I'm having trouble articulating, but I feel like... Because, like, I mean, you know, as I've said on this show before, I read a lot of, like, 80s, you know, B-grade fantasy novels, a lot of which had some kind of, you know, softcore erotica elements, all of which were very, like... They were kind of femdom-y.
Yeah.
Like, there were a lot of situations where the, like, chosen, you know, the, like, yes, you're like this young man has some sort of, like, magical destiny, and instead of a, like, Obi-Wan Kenobi figure, the person who is, like, gonna, like, keep him alive and show him the ropes is a sexy, like, woman who's slightly older and has way more life experience than him. And then she, like, sort of also initiates him into the ways of, like, banging, in addition to the whole, like, I'm gonna teach you about magic and sex.
Mm-hmm. And sex magic sometimes. This was, like, a reoccurring, like, thing in many of these, like, kind of like a lot of these novels. Yeah.
That I didn't realize, you know, like, not gonna lie, didn't realize had kind of an impact on me until later. Look. I'd say I don't want to talk about it, but I did just talk about it on this show that I put on the internet for literally anyone to listen to. Whatever, the show has an explicit tag for a reason.
It sure does.
It's adult. We're adults talking about adult stuff.
I swear all the time.
Fucking constantly.
We swear so much on this show. We use fuck as a placeholder.
Yes, frankly, yeah. And we're out here carrying on the noble tradition of the World War I trenches and just using fuck as all parts of speech.
Yep, agreed.
But there's this sort of... it's like I'm struggling with exactly what it is that I'm getting at here, but I feel like with witches and like the idea of like witch magic, the way that it's so often presented is as something that is like innately or exclusively feminine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this idea that, like, yeah, women have power, and it's this specific woman power that, like, look, it isn't it, and then, you know, we're all gonna be like, and it's just as good as dudes, or it, like, actually makes them more powerful than dudes, and isn't that great, but it's still really gender essentialist.
Yeah. There's something specifically about women that makes them mysterious and unexplainable.
Yeah, and then they have
maybe
this,
a little scary.
They have this kind of magic that is not the kind that is written down and quantified. It's the sorcerer versus wizard, like, you know, the idea that women are exclusively wisdom or charisma casters.
Yeah. They don't study, it's just an inherent part of who they are.
Yeah, and they might have to learn how to master it, but the source of power is always something there. And it's often something that they inherit upon a coming of age thing, where they, like, come into their full, you know, like, Jesus H. Christ, why is it's like this and fucking Ginger puberty. Snaps? Why is everything about puberty?
Jesus Christ.
At least Ginger Snaps is honest about puberty being fucking terrifying.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's also, like, somewhere in there, at least there's something about, there's like a fantasy about, like, there is something in me that, like, I'm awkward and weird now, but someday I'm gonna grow up and I'm gonna be, like, strong and powerful and sexy and cool.
Yeah, it's the girl version of, like, you know, I'm a nerd now, but
I'm the chosen one.
Yeah, I'm the chosen one, and everybody's gonna see someday.
Yeah. I'm the King Arthur, but instead girls are like, I'm Morgana.
Which, you know, I mean,
good for us.
Yeah, frankly, good for us. Like, not that I didn't also. I liked the sword, man.
I did also want to be King Arthur, and that's why we're non-binary.
Yeah, that's why we're non-binary.
And because we're also both good and evil. Like, duh, it's easy.
It's true.
People are like, oh, I don't understand non-binary stuff. It's simple. I am both good and evil at the same time. Get it together. I'm Magneto.
Yeah, it's when you wanted to be Morgana, like Morgan Le Fay and King Arthur.
Magneto was right. Yeah.
Magneto was right.
Yeah, bad example. But I think that there's something about, like, and also I think there's something in there, I think you made a note here somewhere about, like, motherhood, some connection to, like, your mother and the mother's past that is, like, sacred. And also a connection to other women that is sacred and good.
Yeah, and something that makes you more powerful.
Yeah, and is community based.
Yeah,
very specifically is community based.
Yeah, because which I feel like is sort of an interesting, like, maybe you look at it as, like, on some level a pushback against the kind of, like, you know, oh, like, everybody can succeed in a man's world or whatever, but realistically that involves throwing other women under the bus.
Yeah.
You know.
And
yeah.
I was gonna say, interestingly, on kind of the flip side of the coin, the boys version, whatever, you know, let me say, like, take anything that we say girls, boys with a grain of salt. Obviously, the human experience does not work like this, but if we're thinking in tropes and stereotypes, which for movies you kind of have to, the like, guys version of I was special all along is, like, very lonely. It
is, yeah.
You have a mentor sometimes, and they usually die.
Yeah, they almost always beef it.
Yeah, but the girl version, for witches anyway, is like you wake up to the special power and now you have a whole community full of people who are here to nurture and teach you.
Yeah, you are
initiate you into this new world.
Jeez. Yeah, you get to become you get to become part of something instead of like your responsibility comes along with community as opposed to the sort of, like, the martyr fucking complex of, like, the lone hero.
Yeah. Like, it's the difference between, like, I'm weird and alone now, but someday I'll have people, and, like, I'm weird and alone now, and the weird and aloneness, like, is what makes me strong.
Yeah,
it's like, Jesus Christ, I'm so glad I got the, like, I'm weird and alone now, but but I'm gonna have a community of people who love me and understand me someday.
Yeah, like, sucks that Luke Skywalker has to just, like, be by himself all the fucking time. Because there aren't any more Jedi anyway.
Yeah.
Just
that boy built himself a little community, though, and it did all fall apart because of his stupid-ass nephew.
Yeah,
but that was not on him.
And then, unfortunately, the new Star Wars movies happened.
Yeah. That was on Kyle Ron. Did you see that Tumblr post? It's like someone was like, Luke Skywalker never did anything wrong. And then the next post was OP being like, someone was like, he tried to kill his nephew. And like, yeah, he should have done it.
Oh yeah, wait, no, he did one thing wrong and it wasn't actually.
And it's because he didn't kill Kyle Ron, yeah.
Yeah, anyway. But no, you're right. And like, I feel like, I guess maybe this is something that like, meant a lot to me as a kid, and as somebody who had a loving but frankly like fraught relationship with my mom. And especially when you get stories about like, you know, this idea that you like inherit this power and like you enter into a community, but you also have to decide what it's going to mean for you individually. Yeah, just the idea that like the idea that you could that you could inherit something from your mom that was going to be like good and like productive and like make you stronger and more confident in stuff, as opposed to just inheriting like a bunch of fucking psychological issues.
and make you like closer to her also. That you would be
absolutely.
Welcomed into her kind of untouchable adulthood club. Like, even if you have a close relationship with your mom, there's kind of this veneer of like adulthood that sometimes is like, oh man, like I just want to grow up and be like her. And then you get to have that as you get to like kind of see that other side that I think is very tantalizing when you're a young gal or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. When you're a young girl, like asterisk. Yeah. Separate from kind of all of those like heavier thoughts, I think it's very interesting when you look at like 90s and also earlier, the transition from the witch is like the capital E, capital W, evil woman trope, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, any of those fairy tales, and also any of those like early movies based on fairy tales is like she's evil and she's gonna get you.
Dude, do you know what we should watch again? The Brothers Grimm.
Yes,
that's what I'm gonna. That's what I'm gonna fucking rent when I take my DVDs back to Film is Truth.
Oh my god, I haven't thought about that movie in a hot minute. We should watch that again.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh my god, I just got so excited remembering that movie exists.
You know, I really do love the idea of someday recording film commentaries to do, like, for people to do watch-alongs for Sneople, like, once a quarter or something, and it would be really fun to do that movie.
Yeah, so going from that to something along the lines of what we started seeing, what the 90s was so based on, which is the, like, approachable witch. And I think, and this may not be entirely accurate, but the first example I can think of is in the 50s with Bell, Book, and Candle, which I believe has James Stewart in it. Our friend of the show, Jimmy Stewart.
I think it does. Maybe we should make Helena. I've never seen it.
I haven't seen it in a really long time, but my mom loves that movie and I love it too.
Hell yeah.
It's very charming. Like Bewitched is very clearly and I think the person who wrote and or directed Bewitched, like the TV show, was like, I was pulling from Bell, Book, and Candle here. It's, it's a romantic comedy. It's like sweet and a little weird, if I recall. And I think that's such a turning point for like the witch is the witch is just like you ! That she's, a young woman who's a little hapless in love. And then we see like Bewitched, and we see like, I'm looking at some other examples here that I'm like, I don't know if that's what all these movies are about, but I think there are a decent amount of stuff where like the witch becomes a sympathetic character and someone you want to be like, or if not someone you want to be like, somebody you understand. Which I think is an interesting transition, and I like cannot even pin down like, I wonder why we started thinking like that, or why that started happening. Obviously we get a lot of evil witches still, that's such a very strong stereotype, but I feel like there's also so many more of like, I guess maybe part of it is like magic isn't necessarily evil, is such an idea that is changed, because for so long it's like magic is evil, done, end of sentence, period, exclamation point. And that is just not necessarily true in terms of storytelling anymore. We have so many tales of the benevolent mage. And this is not to say that magic has always been evil. Obviously you have like Merlin, who is not evil. Well, he's evil in some of his stories, but he's not.
Sometimes he's evil. Sometimes he's just like a huge tool.
A guy. Yeah, sometimes he's just like a dude. But I think, especially considering like 20th century, I mean, heck, you could go pretty far back and be like, magic is evil for a long time. That was our consideration. I don't know. I don't really have a full and complete thought there, but like the witch can be good definitely comes from like magic doesn't have to be evil.
God, I hate my brain. It just started doing the witches can be right. Giants can be good. You decide. Yeah, anyway. Now is not the time to cry about Into the Woods.
No.
Except for the part where it's always time to cry about Into the Woods.
He was right.
He was right, it's true. I don't know, I'm just thinking about like what I've got going on repeat in my head right now is the version where it's of the clip from The Wizard of Oz where it sounds like she's saying, "Are you a good bitch or a bad bitch?" Yeah.
I was thinking about that too, the dichotomy between like both of them exist.
Yeah.
That like magic is both good and evil depending on who's using it.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting concept that I find more compelling than just like magic inherently bad or whatever. And I feel like, oh god, what year was Wizard of Oz?
Oh, it's like fucking Wow, my brain just shorted out. Did Wizard of Oz coming out in 1939? Why do I have that number in my head?
Googlerino here. It cannot have been that early.
What year do you have?
Well, no, sorry, no.
Oh, was that
the 30s cannot have been that. 39, really?
Oh, was I right? Fuck yeah.
Man, I have a weird concept of color.
I mean, you heard me have a fucking meltdown over the fact that the fucking 1920s were no longer 80 years ago on Parascience.
Yeah, that's true. God, I don't want to think about it.
Listen to Parascience.
We're just shelling shows this episode.
Yeah, it's fun. We never do this.
I know.
Dear Ben, you're welcome. We're finally doing marketing.
For our own shows. Fuck the other shows.
Yeah, well, you know. Write what you know, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Wizard of Oz, I think, has got to be one of the earliest examples of, like, in United States, anyway, media of, like, a good witch.
Yeah.
Does that seem accurate?
I mean, it does to me.
See, like, it's the earliest thing I can think of. There's probably something that's, like, obscure or whatever, but, like, popular mainstream media, it's, yeah, she's good. Yeah. And there's an evil witch, sure. There's, in fact, more than one, but one of them dies immediately, so we're not going to worry about her.
This is true. And then,
and then there's a wizard who's just kind of a guy.
Yeah.
Just kind of and then tool. Wicked got written, and it's gay.
Wicked is real gay.
It's real gay.
I love that book. That's one of those ones that, like...
Witches is lesbianism.
I wasn't allowed to read, and, like...
Yeah.
And, like, you know, it sort of, in fairness to my parents, they had no way of knowing I had already read a bunch of stuff that was, like, more out there than that. But also, like, they were right. It was not age appropriate at the age I wanted to read it.
No. But when you're an early reader, like we were, and you're reading way beyond your age level, sometimes shit just happens.
Sometimes
you read about, like, psychic dragon sex at, like, 12.
Yeah. Dragon Riders of Pern really got a lot of us, didn't it? Fucking Dragon Riders of Pern! Oh man, where's my, when are they gonna make a movie about, that would be such a good TV show, like, the CGI is finally ready for Dragon Riders of Pern. I know,
we're in an era where we could see something like that.
We could, God, I really hope
Fantasy's big.
Fantasy is big. That is, I feel like people would be like, wait, but it's science fiction, but it's dragons, and you're like, yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, shut up. What are you gonna do about it?
Just, I mean, and, like, frankly, the psychic dragon sex isn't any weirder than any of the shit that happened on Game of Thrones, so...
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're also in an era where I think we can accept most things that happen on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, this happens. Whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, alright, well, guess we gotta deal with that now.
Yeah. We all just move on.
Yeah. Fuck, what's the... Oh, fuck the podcast. What are we talking about again? Oh my god, sorry.
We're talking about witches.
I just fully lost the plot for like a whole ass 15 seconds.
Dragon Riders of Pern will do that to you.
Oh, I forgot that I just said new life goal, become wife guy to powerful witch.
Yeah, that was something that was tacked on to the like rom-coms about witches idea, is that like that's kind of a trend that must just usually, I feel like, goes with a like woman is powerful and so, usually a little silly, but like powerful and smart, and she is like deserving of love, and the guy who's in love with her is like, babe, you're so great, and I think you're so cool and strong and awesome.
Yeah,
and it's like early wife guy shit.
She has something that he will never be able to, like, she has a power in an arena that he won't ever be able to match her in, and he's cool with that. And
potentially really into it.
Yeah.
Is like enamored with her because of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And at the very least is like supportive.
Yeah. I want to watch Practical Magic again.
Yeah, it's been a very long time. I've been thinking about it.
Who's the fucking dude love interest in Practical Magic?
I don't remember.
I'm looking it up 1 second.
Hi, I'm Australian now.
Hi, boss.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been thinking about Practical Magic a lot. I wrote Charmed on here, and as I like, the 90s loved witches, and my brain was like, hey, remember Charmed? And I'm like, fuck.
Oh, wait, I think it's, the problem with this is that I don't actually remember, like, there's two dudes here, and I don't remember which one it is, but I think it's Aidan Quinn. He was also in... What else do I fucking... It's that he's the dude who looks like Rutger Hauer.
Fascinating.
That's probably not helpful. What the fuck else do I know him from anyway?
He looks very familiar. Evan Rachel Wood is in this movie?
But he also... Yeah, she must be, like, really young.
Yeah, she
He
must
also
be.
just, like, fully fucking looks like Rutger Hauer.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. My god.
Damn, this dude, like, works a lot.
Best known for Practical Magic, Benny and June, and Flipped.
Oh, Benny and June is fun. I feel like there's, like, something else that I really like a lot that he's in that, like, you know...
He was on Elementary. He plays Gregson.
Yes, that's what it is. Thank you.
I was like, I know this man. Why do I know this man? Because he was on because he plays Gregson on Elementary. Mystery solved.
Mystery solved.
Yeah, we should watch Practical Magic.
Yeah, we should watch Practical Magic. Oh, also, he's in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein that she came back from the grave to fucking
to produce. Oh, that's fun.
Yep.
I mentioned Matilda on this list. I don't think I've actually ever seen Matilda.
Oh, we should do a double feature of Matilda and Practical Magic.
That would be fun.
Because that would be mega cute.
What would also be fun is Matilda and Kiki's Delivery Service.
Oh my god, no, yeah, that's even better. We should definitely do that. And then, like, we can talk about it. Before we get going on whatever my actual birthday episode ends up being.
Yeah, there we go.
'cause, like, I love Matilda.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love Matilda.
Mm-hmm.
Matilda's that classic, like, you know, there's something, like, the adults in your life think there's something wrong with you, and it turns out that thing that's wrong with you is actually, like, what makes you special.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned, like, you know, but in this case it turns out that, like, there is somebody kind of, like, like, when she, like, rejects, like, trying to, like, make herself, you know, into, like, what her parents want to be, there's, like, somebody waiting to, like, catch her, kind of, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really fucking good. And also, frankly, the musical of Matilda fucking whips.
That is what I have heard. I've heard it just kicks
so
ass.
Fun. It was, when I was on study abroad, it was, like, one of the last things we went to go see before our, like, program ended. 'Cause it was still the original cast run on the West End. It was, like, right at the end of the original cast run, because, one second, this is gonna bug me. I'm gonna get this dude's name wrong, and then I'm gonna be mad at myself. The mean, like, PE teacher is a drag role in the show. And I fucking saw Bertie Carvel in it, and I had no idea it was him until afterward.
Incredible.
I was like, because I think we were, like, almost late, so I didn't have time to go through my program because we were sitting way up in the fucking nosebleeds. But it was so fun. It was very fucking fun. Anyway, yeah, no, Matilda is delightful. Trying to think about what other... This is our special shout out to the really hot witch in King Arthur Legend of the Sword.
Yeah.
The movie which notably this podcast loves and no one else does.
Yeah. She's really good.
That's just, like, one of, like, our movies.
Yeah. It's a very special memory. Yeah, she's very good in that movie and very hot. I think that's one of those, this is a witch that's, like, whether or not you think she is hot says a lot about you, and I do, so...
I think
anyway.
I think all three of us think I am going to speak for Helena, who's not here and cannot defend themselves.
Yeah. And if she disagrees, well, that's not our problem right now, that's a future problem.
This is a problem for future us. Yeah. But I did, in that case, I did think it was fun to draw on the old, like, and, you know, obligatory disclaimer that everything that people, so much of what people, like, quote-unquote know about, like, pre-Roman Britain, like, you know, cosmology and spiritual practices and all of this stuff, a ton of it is actually the product of, like, Victorians being weirdos.
What isn't?
People really, like, had a crisis of, like, not being able to deal with the rise of modernity and, like, decided to go run around naked in the fields in Britain and try to, like, reclaim a, like, pre-Roman... Anyway, a bunch of it's made up. So, you know, and also the other obligatory, I'm not a historian.
Yeah.
I'm an extremely amateur history enthusiast.
I've seen The Eagle a bunch.
Yeah, I've seen The Eagle a bunch. God, again, is that movie good? I don't care.
It doesn't matter if it's good or not. Irrelevant.
Rules. It is. Its quality is irrelevant. It rules.
Yeah.
But the sort of ancient, I don't know how true this is, concept of, like, the like marriage of the king to, like, the land that he rules, and having her represent that, like, you know, that she is so clearly, like, the avatar of the, like, you know, pre Roman invasion, like, powers that still exist in the land there, and, like, him, like,
she is England in a way that, like, otherwise cannot be expressed.
Yeah, exactly. And that his power is in being able to, like, bridge those two things by, you know,
the King Arthur movie with Keira Knightley goes for a very similar vibe also.
It does, doesn't it? That was the other thing that I just need to, like, watch some, it's, like, dark at weird hours now, so I just need to, like, settle in and watch some fucking movies.
Yeah.
Because I want to watch that again. It's been a really long time. And yes, of course, we would be, like, Helena will, fucking fly back from New York to kill us, if we don't mention Morgana from BBC Merlin.
Yeah. I also put that one in for me. I was like,
yeah,
she's so hot.
She's just so hot.
She's good. She's really, like, she's really doing the damn thing in a show that's that.
Katie McGrath is really trying her
also,
fucking
like,
best.
Damn. They were like, hey, you're gonna beat Evil Witch, and she was like, you fucking know it.
Yeah, she showed up to work on that show.
Yep.
And she should have just gotten together with Angel Colby.
Uh-huh. That show was a sham.
Love how I've only ever seen the first, like... have not even seen that much of that show.
I mean, what is there really to watch?
It's just...
How much disappointment can you really take in one lifetime?
The weird thing is that, like, it is, like, old enough that, like, there's a lot of, like, cheesy genre television from, like, before 2007 that I find charming, whereas cheesy genre television from, like, after that point is insufferable, and I don't know what changed. I don't think
disappointment. I just started getting so...
the nostalgia factor. Like, because a lot of it is stuff that it's not like I watched it when it was on.
No, I don't know what it is. Something, I think there was just a, like, it just lost heart or something.
No, I really
do. Like, you watch it and you're like, you're just trying to make money here. This isn't for the love of the game.
I really do think that there was this point at which everything had to have crossover appeal instead of just being like, no, the stuff that airs on the fucking Sci-Fi Channel caters to Sci-Fi Channel fans, and that's fine.
And that's what it is, and if you're just gonna have to deal with it, aren't you?
Not everything had to have the goddamn crossover appeal of Game of Thrones, because the crossover appeal of Game of Thrones wasn't how the genre elements were handled, it was the nudity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because how the genre elements are handled fucking sucks. Anyway. Game of Thrones is bad!
Oh, God. I think for Merlin specifically also, there's like an oncoming and ongoing trend of, like, just trying to be a little too big for your britches and be a little too smart about it. Now, admittedly, I did not watch the final season of Merlin on purpose.
Yeah, well, that's just called self-preservation instinct.
Yeah, but it was just one of those things where it was like, man, you knew what the show was, and it was doofy and fun, and it had a good heart, and I feel like it just lost that somewhere along the way in the later seasons. Just thinking about what they did to my boy Gwaine. It's fine, I'm over it. I'm fine.
I feel like pure shit. Just want it back. Yeah, no, I
just want him back.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah, it's fine. It's been 10 years. You think I would have gotten over it, but I haven't.
Nah.
I'll never get over it. Yeah, I don't know. Real quick, can men be witches? Yeah.
Yeah.
More male witches in movies. That's my thought.
We have to watch The Covenant at some point.
Yes.
Probably when we're blazed.
Yes.
I would argue that Harry Dresden is a witch.
Yes. Yes. Now, to be fair, they don't really... the thing I do appreciate about the Dresden Files, parentheses, don't go into the Dresden Files expecting that they're going to be, like, good.
No.
But I love them, and parentheses.
They are trash, but they're my trash.
Yeah. Or, like, don't expect high feminist literature.
Also that.
But beyond all that, I do love them very much. And I think that there's something like the Council of Wizards. Everyone on that council is a wizard, including, like, the women. They're all wizards. Witches are generally considered small-time practitioners who are, have, like, small enough gifts that they are just not, they're just not beefy enough to be on the council. Different, like, titles for magic users are applied based on, like, what they do and their skill level, which, as a concept, I really like, and is something I have since stolen for my own Monster of the Week game, where everyone in our little fictional town is a witch, because they all do similar things, and they all belong to a council of witches. They belong to a coven. Yeah, that's what I decided is, like, that's kind of where that lies. But there are other, not you guys have met them, but there's other practitioners out there who do different things and therefore have different titles. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, that is something I always loved about Dresden Files is, like, yeah, Harry is technically a wizard, but the reason he's a wizard is because he's strong enough to hold that title and doesn't do stuff that warlocks do, which is, like, evil shit.
Yeah.
Not because he's a man.
Yeah.
So I was literally thinking about the Dresden Files. I was like, I think Harry technically counts, but I don't know if I need to bring it up. So I'm glad we're on the same page.
Because we have between us, as has been noted many times, exactly one brain cell.
Yeah, and half that brain cell at any given point is thinking about the Dresden Files.
I mean, literally, I'm watching Foundation. Oh, that's the other thing that I watched another episode of Foundation.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Which, once again, spoilers for Foundation. Jared Harris is still dead, and I'm still mad about it.
Rip.
But the thing about the episode 3 of Foundation is that it is an absolutely excellent showcase of why Terrence Mann should be like 50 gajillion times more famous than he is.
He's so good.
Because he's so fucking good. And I was like, well, I need more Terrence Mann in my life. And I was like, well, I guess it's time to go fucking watch the Dresden Files again.
I know. I was literally thinking about opening up one of my audiobooks to, like, cook to tonight.
Oh,
but
sick.
I do have that DVD set of the TV show.
I really need to just buy the DVD set of the TV show.
Pretty cheap, I think.
Yeah, they're not that expensive, and I should really...
No, because no one gives a shit about that show except for you and me and maybe my dad.
Yeah, this is like the second or third time that I've found myself going, man, I want to rewatch the Dresden Files, like, in the last year or so. Yeah, so clearly it's time for me to just do it.
It might be streaming too, but honestly, like, fuck that.
Nah, I want the
DVDs.
For life. I should just, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be like, somebody should just order those to be delivered to me for my birthday.
Just open up Amazon.com.
Yeah.
I mean, not Amazon. Fuck Jeff.
No, fuck Jeff. Fuck you, Jeff Bezos.
I wonder if I can find like Best Buy. Anyway.
Oh yeah, no, this is silly, but my, and I can close out on this because this is, I'm satisfied with the amount of podcasting that we have done this evening, if you are. Okay, my goofy shout out was going to be, as I am really, like, in the groove of reading the Silmarillion, which, like, rip to past me, but current me is different. This is so good. Galadriel, who is, like, by people who know her by, you know, extremely fictionalized reputation or whatever, does occasionally get referred to, like, as, like, the Witch of the Golden Wood or whatever, is not really, like, a witch in any meaningful sense of the term, but is, and I cannot stress this enough, in Middle-earth lore, older than the sun.
So she was just, like, kicking in the dark for a minute, or...
It is weirdly so much more complicated than that, because, like, the fucking, like, all of the light in the world used to be provided by these fucking trees, and, like...
Right.
Yeah, there's two trees, and they, like, wax, you know, they, like, wax and wane, but, like, one of them is always really bright, and a bunch of the elves, like... don't want to go to Valinor because they, like, don't want to leave their love the stars so much, and they don't want to leave, like, the starlight, and you can't see them. And then the trees get fucking poisoned, And there's like a one last flower from the silver one and one last fruit from the gold one, and those get turned into the sun and the moon. And by that point, Galadriel is like a fucking adult who has like followed her family back out to Middle Earth after Fëanor is a dickweed and does some light kinslaying, among other things. Anyway, long story short, Galadriel's older than the sun.
That's just nuts. I mean, good for her.
Like, good for her, but also, like, dear Professor Tolkien, what the fuck?
What the actual fuck?
Yeah, which is, you know, like, basically my reaction to reading the entirety of the Silmarillion is just me going, like, hey, Professor, I have a couple of questions for you.
Excuse me, sir?
Sir?
Excuse me.
Anyway, yeah.
Dig us out.
Dig it away, Arnie. Sorry, that's what fucking every time Leia and I are counting down to watch something, Leia will go take us in, and my brain goes, take it away, Arnie.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, no, this is what we should go out on, which is shout out to the eternal Tumblr post of, I need feminism because when Jesus does a magic trick, it's a goddamn miracle, but when a woman does a magic trick, she gets burned at the stake. And then the follow-up post of, I mean, they did also kill Jesus. That was a pretty significant thing that happened. Like, I understand where you're coming from here, but they very much did kill Jesus.
Okay, but the middle post that just says fabulous also kills me.
This is true.
Fabulous. And then it's just, they very much did kill Jesus.
Yeah, so in honor of they very much did kill Jesus Day. Thanks for hanging out with us here on Sneople at the Movies from the Infinity Break Network. Check out infinitybreak.net for more awesome content, and come hit us up on Twitter at people_snake, or shoot us an email at sneopleatthemovies@gmail.com. Our amazing music was done by Johnny Ronaldo, who you can find at Johnny Ronaldo on Twitter. Our logo was designed by Bethany Luthold. Check her out at bethanyluthold.wixsite.com. If you've got a subject you want to hear us talk about, a movie you think we absolutely need to see, or your stance on hexing the moon, come say hello. Also, if you can, leave a review on iTunes and share the show with anyone who you think would enjoy it. As always, thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the movies.